Good evening, all of you. Today, I'm Abhishek Shukla. I'm Dr. Abhishek Shukla, who is taking care of this workshop. We are today are going to host this workshop because of today we already know that business analytics is one of the important area or the domain where the industry required heavily the students as a candidate, which they are going to recruit for this domain. And for this, the tools are going to be very important. And today, every industry, either it's going to be manufacturing, either it's going to be, of course, IT and any other industry, they are looking forward for the data analytics profile, data scientist. And in this, the tools are going to be very important. Uh, these tools are going to create an edge over the other candidates. So as in whatever be the year you are into BTech, and other basically the faculty members who have joined, and other, of course, audience from the corporates, they can have a demo of these tools, and these tools are going to give you an overview. After that, you can learn, you can have a certification programs on these tools, which is going to be required in coming days. So I welcome all the expertise, I welcome all the audience for this wonderful informative session. So let's start. Samiksha, one of Samiksha Saxena is there with our as an expertise. She has currently working as an manager in strategic business in Tata Steels. Before that, she has completed MBA from XLRI, Jamshedpur. And before that, yes, of course, she is an alumni of JUT Guna. She has been passed out from 2010 batch. So she is from chemical engineering. So I welcome Samiksha Saxena for this session. Please take over and enlighten us with the how the Tata Steels or the manufacturing are using this data analytics profile. So yes, Samiksha.
Hi. So, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So, just can you put the PPT on? And thank you, Abhishek sir, for a very warm welcome and with a very nice introduction of me. So, just I'll quickly wrap it around. So, my name is Samiksha. I'm working in Tata Steel as a manager in corporate strategy and planning. So, basically, I report to the CEO and MD of Tata Steel. And prior to this, I was working in a group company of Tata Steel, which was Jamipol Limited, and I completed my MBA from XLRI in marketing and finance. Uh, I'm a pass out from JUET in the year 2010 from chemical engineering. So that was a quick introduction of me. Quickly, you can go to slide number 3, sir.
Yeah, sure.
So, see, I am at the basically at the user end. So, IT and the business analytics, which is done by the data analytics people. So, I am the customer to them. As at an apex level, I see how the company and the performance of the business can be merited with these analytics, and that is how I can say I'm at the user end. So quickly I'll just share my thoughts on why this business analytics has become so important in last 4 to 5 years. So after this industrialization and also large volumes of data we used to handle, and we didn't know what to do with this data. But the analytics and the techniques which has come enabled with the IT and the languages, so it has actually helped us to get insights from that data and to make very good decisions in the business performance. And of course, last couple of months has been very volatile and dynamic. So companies as well as industries across the world has found that the data that resides in the system, that is from the manufacturing or human resources or maybe MNS, is a very important part. And it can be helpful to predict what can be the future for the companies and also help us in some of the decision making. So With this, I'll say
Samiksha,
that this, yeah.
you're not being audible.
Yeah, is it better?
Samiksha,
Yeah, hello. Hello.
I can hear.
Gagan, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear both of you. This is Ashutosh.
Yeah, I can also hear both of you. Exactly.
Okay, so I'll continue. So with this, I'll say that large volumes of data, the analytics helps to reach the goals and make the better choices. So just you can share the next slide, sir. Slide number 4. Abhishek sir, can you just turn the slide? See, as I have already, told that analytics is the use of data enabled by IT, some of these statistical methods, quantitative techniques, and yes, there are some computer-based model that helps to improve the insights and make the operations better. So this I already covered that it throws the light to the business and how we should deal and manage the business. So just the next slide, I'll share a couple of examples of how these business analytics applications we use day to day in Tata Steel as well as the manufacturing sector. So sir, next slide, sir. Yeah, so see, as so we talk a lot about customers these days, customer orientation, customer satisfaction, handling the marketing activities. So I must say that this data has helped us to gain a lot of insights. What is the preference of the customer? How you can track those preferences, in what part of the country which customer is preferring which of your SKUs. And then also it has enabled us to develop customer satisfaction scores, which we year on year we manage to attempt to increase in these scores, and also to address quite a few of the OFIs, which is areas for the improvement also. So I'll say that in customer relationship and marketing activities, it has helped us a lot. Some examples of supply chain also I will give you. So this part deals with which port will be free to leverage the input of your raw material. So a lot of raw materials we import through various ports across the country. So it helps us to analyze which port and which will be a minimal distance to us. And most of the times the ports are not free, so we have to pay the price for holding a ship. So this data has helped us to minimize on the downtime also, and to have the maximize our margins as well in human resource planning. So this is a very new area which we have tried to arrest in Tata Steel also. So in human resource particularly, we do people analytics. So by people analytics, I'll say that right kind of people to hire. We'll look at the data and see how much attrition has been from certain colleges from which we have hired. We will also see why our DNI, which is diversity and inclusion percentage, is being going down. The data is helping us to generate a lot of insights from there, and particularly we have derived quite a few number of strategies also to which has helped us in improving the uh, employee satisfaction scores, and of course in the pricing decisions. So this in the pricing, companies use this statistical and analytics techniques. So very good example of this is the airline industry, where you see the price of the tickets changing every day. So that is based on a particular model they use to see how much is the demand when while you are clicking onto a page for several number of times.
the price of that particular ticket goes up and down. So that is, that is how the precision of the analytics is getting done at the back with your number of clicks. And this is how the airline industry uses. Also, many of the food chains, Reliance, the stores, they use this pricing techniques to, project. They use these techniques based on the demand, and they project how what should be the price based on the seasonality for the better margins. So this is the power of analytics, and this is what we see is the future of the companies who will be using all these data which is stored with them from 15 to 20 years, and helping them in improvement of their performance. So just if you can flip to the next slide, sir. So I'll just add to this that actually it helps us in improving the profitability of the business. Profitability, by profitability, I mean the margins which we draw with a particular SKU. In the revenue side also it helps, and also it helps to improve the shareholders return. So that is the last milestone we need to achieve for the company to be in in a what I can say that market capitalization should be the maximum. So that is how it is helping the improvement in the shareholders return. Sir, just flip to the next slide. I have spoken about the next slide as well. Abhishek, sir. Slide number 7. Yeah, thanks. So, see, what are the types of analytics? So, there are preferably 3 types. One is descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. So, I'll use one example to, make you people understand how these 3 differ. So, suppose there is a store where you must be going to, across the stores in your city. So, there is a store which has some inventory, and that is a seasonal inventory, and they want to reduce the prices so that their stocks are liquidated. So how much price, by how much they have to reduce so that the liquidation is faster, and they can replenish it with the fresh stock. So how the descriptive analysis will help you? So it will help to understand the past and the present data. So in this case, the past and the present data will be number of the stocks which they had, how much they had sold, at what price they have sold, and how much they have paid in the advertising. The predictive will be uh, if they reduce the price, so maybe how much sales they can make. And prescriptive will be by what amount and by what the right price they should set so that they maximize their sales. So that is the power of this analytics. So one is your descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Yeah, I'll share one more example with you. So uh, suppose there is we are into steel industry, so I have to decide on the price of TMT. So in the descriptive analysis, I will understand what is the price of TMT which has undergone for the last 1 year, and what is the present price. In the predictive analysis, I will see what are the indicators, uh, uh, you know uh, what are the indicators that will give me a good demand. So indicators will can be economic indicators, the geopolitical thing which is going around, so and the GDP of the country, what are the other stuff government is doing, policies of the government, so that can predict what can be my demand. And prescriptive will be taking all these things into account, some kind of a optimization model which will help me to decide what can be the best price of my TMP. So that is how this business analytics is working. So you can go to the next slide. Yeah. So what kind of data is there in the business? So when I try to build on these models, so I will see the annual reports of the company. I will refer to the balance sheet, to the P&L account, to the cash flows. What are the economic trends, the GDP, the indexes, the industry indexes which we refer to. Then also there will be some kind of research which will be done, and then coming by that, there will be human resource measurements. So human resource measurement, if I say, that will be the productivity per employee. So these are, quite a few of the matrices which we'll be using as a data, which can be collected in facts and figures. The database will be there in the files which is stored in the computer, and the information which will be from analysis of the data. So just on the next slide, please. Mhm. Yeah. So data for business analytics. So there is a metric which is used in the business to quantify the performance. So if I need to analyze how my marketing function is faring out, I will say what is my percentage market share in the market. So if they increase the market share, so then they are faring out well. Then if I say what is how the HR is performing, so I can state the KPI. KPI is key performance indicator, as what is the percentage attrition of my employee. Maybe some function or a new business which is there in the system, I can ask them what is the value creation in rupees crore which you are giving to the business, or in the HR we can say number of trainings. Measures is the numerical value. So if I say market share, which will be in percentage, attrition will also be in percentage, value creation will be in rupees crore, number of trainings will be in numbers. So that is how metrics and the measures works in the analytics. Then there is discrete metrics. So that is basically for any kind of a project. So sometimes it happens that there is a project which is ongoing, and they had to make certain deliveries at certain point of time. So for example, there is a project for vendor development. So if I say that if I pick one vendor and I have to reach a certain level of performance of that vendor, what will be my various milestone in between? And if there are 10 milestone and I have there are 12 milestone, I have completed 10, so that will be my discrete metrics which will be involved. In terms of compliance to plan also, you can calculate that. Now there is one more metrics which is continuous metrics, which is based on a continuum. So like delivery time of my inventory, maybe compliance towards the delivery time. So all these can be a continuous kind of a metric. Then if I go to the next slide, just can you share the next slide, sir? Slide number 11. I'll quickly talk about different kind of scales. So there are basically four types of scales which are used in the measurement. So first is your categorical, which is a nominal data scale. Second is ordinal. Third is interval, and fourth is the ratio data. So just next slide, sir. So we'll share an example with you. So what is a categorical data? So this kind of data has no relationship to one another. So if I say I classify my data elements by name, maybe by some item description, maybe some location. So all these are not interrelated with each other, and they don't have any quantitative relationship also with each other. So this kind of data is a nominal data. Just click on the this thing, sir. So you'll have the example. Click on the slide. Yeah. Just click once more. Yeah. So you can see I have used the example base. Procurement is basically the purchase function. So you can see over here there's a lot of data which we, there are suppliers, and there is item number. item description which we are buying. So these are not interrelated, very, very qualitative in nature. So that is why this is called a categorical or a nominal data set. Next slide, sir. Then I'll talk about the ordinal scale. So that is basically rank or a number that is given to one another to derive a relationship. So there is no fixed unit of measurement in that. So next slide, sir. Yeah. So I was talking about the ordinal scale. You will find many examples across. So maybe for example, in your high school days, there must be ranking given to each student based on the numbers you might have got in your classroom, or maybe any team which is ranked. So that is how the ordinal data works. This is basically very, very relative kind of a thing. Just click on the slide, you will get people can see the example. Yeah. So you can see over here there are people, then there is sales, and then just to relatively measure, uh, this ordinal scale is getting used. But one catch over here is there. You can see in the ordinal scale, rank 1 and rank 2 is having a very, very high variability, almost just double. So here the ordinal scale will not be able to capture the variability between the two data sets. That is a catch with the ordinal scale. Just next slide, please, sir. Then there is a interval data. So interval data is, the examples can be temperature readings, time. So the maybe when your product is coming, so you can have the dates for that. Then order time, maybe when did you have punched the order in SAP system. So that is all comes under the interval. And then there is the last slide, sir. Then there is a ratio data. So this is the continuous value, and like monthly sales, some value that is being attached, cost per order, or maybe your employee productivity, number of employees you are having per ton of your product you are making. So all those metrics is a kind of a ratio data. So I'm meaningful of the time, so you have given me 20 minutes. So I'll close with this, and any questions if anyone is having, they can just ask. So thank you.
Thank you, Samiksha. It was wonderful, informative, and I would like to tell to the audience that yes, this is the very fundamentals which is being required for any data to analyze. Will be the ordinal data, or the interval data, or the ratio data, or the other type of data, right? Nominal data. So this is basically the fundamentals, and Samiksha has tried very well to connect the business analytics with the different kind of industries, how these industries are going to be helpful with this data analytics, and they're must having a certain case studies which is going to depict how different kind of industries can use the different kind of data for their benefit and their growth. So very well done, Samiksha. It was very nice. There is one question has been asked, Ina Jain, that what is the difference between the requirement and need in a business analytic perspective? If you can.
Sorry, just this question. Just repeat the question.
Yeah, Samiksha, the question has been asked by Ina Jain, that what is the difference between the requirement and need in a business analytic perspective? So basically, she wants to know what is the difference between the requirement and the need for the business analytics.
Yeah, I got the question.
Okay.
So basically, need can be a very high level of representation. Okay. So suppose, okay, I'll try to answer this. So example can be, I want to be a world's most profitable company. Okay. So this is my ask. This is my need. Very high level representation. Okay. So to reach their most, profitable company in certain sector, what are the 5 things I will be doing? That can be the requirement to achieve that need. Okay. Okay, okay. Let me answer you. So I say that I will be creating value for my company 100 crores. So that is a metrics which I am using. That is a need. That is the need which my senior management has asked me. In next 5 years, I want to deliver 100 crores of free cash flow. So to deliver that need, which is a very high level representation, what I will do, I will do those 6 things, those 6 things which will be my requirement to reach that need. So those 6 things can be, for example, maybe I will increase the price, I will increase my market share, maybe I will launch new products, maybe I will do those XYZ things which will be the requirement of the company to reach the end purpose, end goal, which is the need at a very high level. Am I able to answer the question?
Yes, Samiksha, it was, yes, you have enlightened us with this answer. Yes, you have somewhat have answered the question. Any other question if anybody have? Yes, so Shrey Pandey, I'm going to take the last one, because the other speakers are also there. Shrey Pandey has asked, what do you think are the key strengths of the business analytics?
You're not audible. I was not able to hear the question.
Yeah. Shrey Pandey has asked Samiksha that what do you think, what are the different strengths of business analytics?
Okay, so I have initially covered that in my presentation. Actually, I'll try to answer those again. So key strength can be seen. As I said, there is a large volumes of data that any company, maybe it's small or big, in each and every function they produce. So maybe that data is in your computer, it is in hard copy, soft copy. So the strength of the business analytics is they help you to enlighten, they help you to get some insight out of those dumped data, which is they're dumped in some file. So like I shared an example with you of sales. So over the years there is a thousands of SKUs which you might have uh, sold to the customer, but that data will help you to generate insights and create strategies for the long run so that from that data you'll be able to squeeze out in each part of the country which of your product is getting maximum utilization, so you will push those end products to that part. So that is the power of strength of business analytics in each and every function, not only in sales, in each and every area. I try to cover that in my slide also, that every area, human resource, which we could have never thought of, that predictive people's analytics will be one of the biggest areas for the companies to derive strategy, what kind of right people they should put it. So in the analytics, I'll share an example of HR only. We get thousands of CVs every year. There is a auto text, so you people must be creating those CVs in Word or PDF. The PDF is being read by the system with few keywords. They just scrutinize at the very first level. So this is the power of analytics, and they will tell you these will be the right set of skills that will be required for this particular function in a company. Maybe it manufacturing, or manufacturing will have a lot of functions inside, not only operations but marketing, sales, HR, sustainability, technology, R&D. So every skill set will be different which we will require. So that is the power of business analytics. And anything. Uh, am I able to answer the question, right?
Yes, Samiksha, a wonderful answer. I'll add somewhat in this, there is one company, call it as a Dow Chemical in America. Uh, whatever what they have done from the data analytics, or you can say business analytics, that basically in their Dow Chemicals, they have 20,000, 29,000 of the patents, and they are not able to utilize those 29,000 from whatever they have the information and the knowledge from these patents. They are not able to utilize this. So what they have done, they have hired one of the person who has looking forward for the intellectual capital assets. And apart from this, they have done the business analytics, they have done certain kind of data analysis on the patents itself. And after that, they have find the conclusion that they are able to now utilize most of the patents, and now they are creating more patents because of they have already 29,000 of patents which is being utilized. Before that, it is not being utilized. So everywhere, every industry, especially in the engineering, manufacturing, everywhere the data is being created, and the data has to be analyzed, has to be predicted, has to be forecasted. On the basis of the data itself, it's going to be forecasted. So yes, of course, Samiksha, it was wonderful to have you here in the session, and I hope we'll be have this kind of contact in the future also. So thank you, Samiksha, thank you very much. Yes, now I would like to introduce one of next guest, that is Mr. Ashutosh Shukla. Ashutosh Shukla has already been a founder member of Zentech company. Apart from this, Ashutosh Shukla have been working as a senior data architect in AIB in Ireland. He's been working in the past. He has been worked with Apple as a data consultant, and Teradata and Taito in other companies also. So, and even that he's being freelancer for different companies. So yes, well, we would like to welcome Ashutosh Shukla for have you here, and he's currently working as a chief technology officer in Zentech Limited and in Ireland. So we welcome Ashutosh. Please connect us with the data analytics or business analytics or data visualization, how it is going to be used in today's era, and what the industries are looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, Ashutosh.
Thanks, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to hear. So good thing about me. I'm too naive to this, but yeah, I'm happy to have you all here, right? And I'll share my journey basically. So we are Vision Tech. I'm a founder as well as the CTO of the organization. We are basically into advanced analytics. So you might have heard about analytics. When we call out about advanced analytics, there are certain things that get added, which we will talk about. And we are primarily focusing on the text analysis world. We are primarily focusing on cloud computing, as well as computer vision, deep learning, and all those set of things, right? I might not be able to cover this in a short span of time, all of those things, but I'll probably give you a glimpse of what all we do and what all it is actually, how it is making difference to the world. I mean, we're working on that sort of products which actually makes difference to the world, right? So if you see the product side that my product engineers are working, so we will have a demo as well on this. So you'll see Kulbhushan, who is my product head. Basically, they are developing a product which is actually helping manufacturing industries, oil and gas, crowd management, healthcare. So all these sides in the safety side, right? So let's say just an example, right? Very weird example. If I call out, you run a manufacturing company, and there are, I mean, we are based out of Ireland, right? In Dublin, I mean, we have a headquarter in Dublin. We have offices in Australia and India as well. But when we call out that, okay, you are a manufacturing company, you will have to follow out all the norms, as Samiksha also called out that, okay, in Tata Steels, you have to follow out all the safety measures, right? And there is not going to be an individual who's going to keep a check of all those safety measures. There has to be a mechanism or an audit trail or probably computer vision or something which is actually automatically keeping a track of it, right? So that is something that we have developed. If you wanted to see on that, okay, is everybody wearing a helmet? Is everybody wearing a glove? Is everybody having a correct food, food covers, right? All those things you cannot keep a manual check. Otherwise, you'll have to keep a supervisor for every 2 or 3 people, right? So we have automated this and use the power of computer vision to do this, right? If you are in a school and you wanted to actually know that, okay, how many students are attending the class attentively or how many are not, you could probably do this. Edureka is one of our client, to be honest, for doing this in a Zoom meeting. So we could actually know that how many, if you are actually all sharing your videos, we could actually know that how many of you are attentive, right? So this is something that we are doing. So I'll just demo a very quick, again, I have to be very precise with my timing because I've been given only 15 minutes. So I'll just demo you probably in a video, which is the best elaboration of what we are doing. And it will showcase us that, okay, it will showcase that, okay, what we are doing. Okay. Give me a second. I'll just share my screen and probably start the video. Uh, let me know once you guys are able to see my screen, please. Are you
Yes,
guys able to see my
Ashutosh.
screen?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So this is one of the use cases that we have already developed. So basically showcasing in a construction industry that the individual is not wearing a helmet, showcasing that he doesn't have a glove. So it can easily send out an automated alert to his supervisor that there is somebody in the organization who is not wearing a glove and doing some hazardous work. If there is a spillover in oil and gas, or if there is a leakage which is unexpected, we could have cameras installed over the facility, and that could detect even in night time, morning time. It doesn't make an impact. Even the temperature is down or up, it doesn't make an impact. It can detect and send an auto alert. If you observe, it is not just counting the number of people, it is even using the computer vision. It knows that there are that many males and that many females in the crowd, which is extensive. If somebody is in coma, we could identify that, okay, the person have a movement at a particular time, and this was the movement, even if it was not visualized at that time. If there is a drip that goes beyond a certain limit, we could easily detect and can pay regards to that person. And why this is important in my part of the world, I would call out. Here we have a lot of people, right? And we can have one attender per patient. But unfortunately, in the places where people are scared, I mean, there are very few people to take care of, or there is very difficulties of finding out nurses, and there is very difficulty finding out watchmen and superiors, supervisors. We will have to use these techniques, right? And this is one of them. And it is very, very common in the in the places where people are scared and the density is low of the people population. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the example that I just quoted out that we are doing for Edureka as well. So basically, when I'm giving an example, and I could not demo it in front of you guys, but yeah, when I'm giving an example, and let's say my participants are all from, let's say all of you guys are from computer science background, and if I give a financial example, a lot of you might not like it or might not understand it, and that is something that I could capture, reiterate on the real time, and can come back to you with a better example, maybe from computer science now, because my financial example was not absorbed that well by all of you, right? And this is in the playground, I mean in the classroom as well. So yeah, and just wanted to showcase this as well. And again, I'll come to a demo as well. But what are we calling out here is we could actually look out for an eyewear, air plug, safety vest, helmet, gloves, and all this. So our model, our computer vision model is being trained to look out for all these objects with different shapes and size and the location that it could be placed on a human body. And then based out of it, we are identifying those things, right? Now, a similar case we did for one of a bigger construction company. The reason for that is, let's say in this COVID situation, government are imposing huge restrictions on the construction company that you guys might not be following social distancing norms. And because you're not following the social distancing norms, you might be, if you're not following it, you cannot continue doing your construction. The biggest problem here is if you're not proceeding with your construction, your rate of creation will go down and your expenditures will go high, right? Now, to cover this off, couple of constructions company came to us and wanted us to showcase a computer vision demo, right, where they could actually identify the social distancing between the two construction workers. So if we call out, let's say it's a 2-hectare location, right? If I place out few cameras over it, I wanted to know how many construction workers actually breached my social distancing norm while working on the field. And this is the feed that the construction company can send back to the government to get an approval that, okay, I'm following all the norms, and this is the proof that I'm following all the norms, right? So I'll showcase you that example that we actually did for one of the bigger construction company, which is based out of the social distancing as we are following right now. So I'll showcase you something where we are actually evaluating the actual distance between two moving people, which we did as a corporate social responsibility for one of the mayor, right? So I'll just showcase you and probably then tell you what it is doing, right? So here, if you see, I'm actually evaluating, sorry, my bad. I'm actually evaluating the distance between the people where they are. So if there are two people side by side, they're not following a social distancing norms, and then I'm quoting them out, right? And I'm giving a metrics at the end of it, basically to the authorities that, okay, there are 10,000 people who passed out by this road, out of which 9,600 have followed the social distancing, and there is an error rate of this much. That means these many people did not follow the social distancing. The good part about this is, yes, Kunal, I'll answer your question after I complete it. Yeah, I get your hand. So the good part about this is, based out of these stats, this is asked to us by a mayor. Based out of this stats, we could figure out that what could be the relaxation time and what is the peak high time. This is in relation with the crowd management that we have just shown, right? We could showcase that this could be a relaxation time in the for the lockdown, right? And this is how it could be used, right? So yeah, so I'll just showcase this. The algorithm is smart enough to identify that there are two adults here and they are now messing up. There is a mother and a son moving out, and see, the algorithm is smart enough to point it out as green even though there are two people. So whenever it is messing up, it is showcasing in red that the people do not come in contact for like 2 meters or something. Whenever it is a standalone person, it was showcasing it correctly, right? So yeah, so I will, and this is what we do primarily, but there are some cases of document classifications and all those things which Samiksha has also pointed out, that in the world of HR or in the world of human resources, analytics are very important. Things like things as we called out like filtration of resumes and all those things. So we have a use case for it. I'll probably showcase it to you guys, and actually more than me, I would ask Kulbhushan to showcase it to you guys, right? Before that, I'll actually answer your questions, and then I'll ask Kulbhushan to showcase the demo where we were actually doing the document classification. Okay, so what all questions I have? Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Ashutosh. It was wonderful to have this practical exposure of the students are working with. So the question is, Rudrakshi Sharma has asked that is this AI system depend on the electricity or has some inbuilt battery or the charge?
Guys, this is a camera system, right? So if this is okay, so computer vision is based out of that you will have to have a camera, enable camera. And what we are doing is nothing rocket science. We are actually constantly absorbing that camera feed and putting this on the cloud. And then from the cloud, we are absorbing it and then doing a real time. Now, there are two parts to it. You could do it real time or you could do it static. So we are in the world of real time analyzing it. So they're not battery based, they are machine based, basically. I mean, and they're fixed as you will have a CCTV camera on a shop or at your home, right? And if it's to be placed in a factory, there is a special installation for it. But you could work through that even from your laptop. So, yeah.
Okay, Ashutosh. Rudrakshi again have asked one of the question is what is its accuracy?
Yeah.
Like for example, if someone hacks the AI system and the oil leaks, how shall we come to know?
Yes. So the good part is they are all inbuilt, right? So hacks the system. Yes, you could have hacked. I mean, if you could hack the, so it is actually exactly like how you could have hacked the bank system and then pushed out all the money to your account. So the system is as secure as a bank system because you will keep it on the cloud with all the security measurements, and then you will analyze this feed. Now, these are all analysis field. Now, we are not calling out that, okay, you actions are still manual. You are just alerting a person that, okay, there is a leakage, right? And then it is the individual who actually goes and fix it, right? We are not automating the action. We are just showcasing that there is an action required. And that is what we are showcasing. The accuracy is 80 to 85% and a normal model, but it keeps on improvising as soon as we have more data and more varieties of data, right? So the entire analytics is based out of only data. The more data you have, the better resultants or better analytics you will get. As we called out, right, in the theoretical side as well, that there is a predictive and preventive analysis, right? So the more data you have, the past experiences you have, this is what makes you a man. So that's why we call out, right, that we as an human being learn with the experience, exactly the machine do, right? So the more data, the more accuracy it is. Usually we will deploy a model only with an accuracy of 80 to 85 at least. We won't go beyond, below that.
Okay, Ashutosh. One person have asked, Karthik have asked that is will be a lag?
Yes, so that's what we call out, right? So yes, there is a lag, and that is the prime task that my data scientists were basically doing at how real time we could do it, right? So there is a lag, so it could happen to few seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. But the primary thing is we are trying to make it as minimum as possible because the data feed has to come, it has to get stored, then it has to run through model that there is an already stored model that it has to pass through and then predict, then revert back. Then there is an SNS system which actually sends a notification, and then the action has to take it. All this happens in mere 3 to 5 seconds at max, right? But we are still trying to bring it to below that. Now, as I called out in the previous thing as well, there could be two ways to do it. One is, again, we have the feed and then you analyze it later. That's one usual way, right? That I wanted to know how many people passed out through this bridge in the last 3 hours. I could do that later. There could be another way as well, which is real time, that I wanted to know within 5 seconds how many people have passed out or something. So an action could be taken at the end of the bridge. So both ways it is there. But yes, there is a lag of around 4 to 5 seconds, which we are trying to curtail down.
Yes, Ashutosh, one of the student, Vinayak Rao Dikshit, have asked that what are the weakest links or bottlenecks in the work of AI? In your work, basically what the demo has been shown, which is relatively new and still under development, or the camera tech,
Yes.
or it's kind of it's a cost or resolution, etc.
Very, very, very effective question, I would say. I think it is a faculty, to be honest, who is asking this question.
Yes, I think
See,
also.
I could relate with the question. Yes, there is a cost cost issue is as well. But that's why if you see, it is actually in the manufacturing industry where it is actually placed. It is not placed on the roads and everywhere. So usually it is at the places where they are confined areas, right? Second thing, where the cost measure is taken care, that it is better to keep a machine on work rather than keeping an individual, right? We do run into issues of resolutions. We do run into issues of we need high CPU machines. So we go to cloud, and then we'll have to get on-demand machines, right? So the biggest factor is, yes, it is costly, but it is effective. So somebody has to, I mean, as a management, somebody has to make that cost to rate ratio, that okay, this is the resultant I am getting, and this is the cost. For us, the biggest problem is machinery on time with effective costing. So yeah, and cameras. I mean, people have asked us in past that, okay, this is what we have in the existing infrastructure, and we want you to do something, and then we don't get the desired resultant. So because of the quality of the video, because of the efficiency of storage, because of the historic data set that they have, these are the biggest thing. So first thing that we will ask to the client is, do you have enough data for us to predict something? If you're coming to me saying that, okay, I want this to be done now, I'm a new brand company, I might not be able to do it for you custom, I mean, as customized as you want, because then I will be using somebody else data to actually train your model, right? And you might have certain um, newbies into your business, because every business is different. So this is the bottleneck, basically, data. Yeah.
Okay, Ashutosh, will take last question because of the time, and
Yeah.
Mr. Kulbhushan Arora is also going to give us the certain enlightenment on the data
Yeah.
analytics or the business analytics.
He will give you a demo basically on the document classification that we called out.
Okay, so the last question is it has been asked by the Shikhar Saxena that sir, how much testing has to be done to make algorithm more and more accurate?
Okay, so we call it epochs, right? So basically, it goes for more than 200, 300 epochs. So basically, every time the model gets an input of its own, and then try to test it its own. So there are epochs which goes for. So yes, good enough testing, around 300 iterations for model to self-train it, and then there is at least 2 to 3 rounds of system testing. And unfortunately, the user acceptance testing continues till the life cycle of the project, because there is new things keeps on coming. So an example of this is, we have already find out that there could be a spark which could be at a range of this much, let's say 3 meters of spark could happen. But then they figure out that there is a vibration as well upstream, which was never calculated and never understood. So we will have to encounter that as well. So which keeps on improvising. And yeah, so user acceptance testing continues, whereas at least 300 epochs with a couple of rounds of system test.
Fine, fine. Thank you, Ashutosh sir. It was wonderful to have you here, and given a small demo on the computer vision which is being based on the data analytics and the business analytics. Now I would welcome Kulbhushan Arora. Can you, Ashutosh sir, can you please give us the you can say intro of Kulbhushan Arora so that we can move further?
Yeah.
And we welcome all for the Kulbhushan Arora.
Yeah. Hi guys. So I'll just introduce Kulbhushan before he jumps in. So Kulbhushan is part of my team. Basically, he is our lead product engineer. So he drives a complete team of 26. He has his expertise in the cloud. I mean, basically into computer vision, deep learning, and AI world. Right. He's doing his master's from Trinity College. I mean, master's as in he has already 15 years of experience, but he still wanted to acquire his, I mean, enrich his knowledge set. So he is doing his master's as well from Trinity. Meanwhile, he has experience working with clients in Australia, in US and UK. We have been associated for the last 3.5 years, and he's a wonderful guy to be in his team. He will take the responsibility and get it done. And that's what he would be doing in the next session as well. So welcome, Kulbhushan.
Hi, thanks guys. Thanks Abhishek, thanks Ashutosh, and thanks for having me here. And as Ashutosh told you guys that we have been working on various projects, and he has showcased our capabilities in terms of computer vision and other areas. But that's not all that we do. We are working on various other areas in data science as well, along with computer vision, text analytics, and moreover on machine learning and deep learning. So rather than going into all those details, I think Samiksha and Ashutosh has given you what use cases usually are being covered. But I think what thing is missed here is like, what is the process of enabling a use case to a particular model. So I'll give you a very small snippet of what are the steps involved in analytics. And that's where you can start thinking of how you can proceed from having a requirement and reaching up to a business strategy. And that steps are involved in every use case, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's education. Everywhere these steps are defined, only thing changes is your uh, data. And because of that data, you have to change your strategies to manipulate the data. But as far as the steps are involved, they follow the same. So I'll go with that thing, and I'll go with one by one with these steps, and I'll try to explain in each step what are things to be done and how these things are done. So for every use case, as Miksha was telling in the beginning, that there are data sets that could be continuous data, that could be ordinal data, that could be interval data, or it could be any discrete data. So first thing that is required is to gather that data, whether it is structured data, which is, you can call it as a database that you might be knowing that you must have worked. And then it could be unstructured data, which is your video streams, which could be your text, any kind of data that has to be acquired. And there are techniques around that, how that data should be acquired so that that can be consumed in a better way. And most of the things that we do in Vision Tech, we try to see that if we can do that in real time. So real-time streaming, real-time data acquisitions are the things that we are very comfortable with, and we have the expertise in those. And usually we use cloud technologies at the moment to use their functionality to acquire, to connect to various servers, and we try to acquire that data. That is the very first thing that we do. But data that we acquire may not be in the shape that we can use. We have to check for what are the accuracies, or what are the missing links in the data, what are, whether the data is consistent in one part of area to the another or not. So all those analysis, data collection, and the data review has to be done at start before we actually go into the modeling things. So first thing, you define your data set. That is the first step. Then out of the model output, what is the business is looking for, whether they want to see increase in their revenue by 5%, or whether they want to see a, whether how many people have crossed they have actually a, not been able to follow the restrictions that has been given. So is those the metrics that we are trying to find out of the model? Those needs to be defined. So once you have the data and once you have the goal to be achieved, then only you can start preparing your data for modeling. And that, when I say the preparing your data, means you have to clean your data, you have to remove the duplicates, you have to see the integrity of the data and the quality of data. So there is a possibility that you may not have the clean data where you are missing the feed from a particular uh, sensor. So how to deal with that missing data, where there is a possibility that for a customer you don't have his age. How can you deal with that kind of missing data? So all this cleansing and making it a quality data is one of the very important step in any kind of data modeling or predictive analytics. I would say, like, in whole of this process where the machine learning or a predictive analytics, data cleansing and data quality plays around 60 to 70% of your work. Modeling is just 30 to 40%. So most of the effort that goes into data predictive analytics is data cleansing and preparing the data. Okay, so once you have your data cleaned by various techniques where there are various statistical techniques that can be applied, whether the data is normalized or not. So those techniques can be used to identify the missing links, and then you define your procedures to fill up those missing and improve the quality of that. And the next step that comes is machine learning model deployment, where you actually prepare your data for modeling. But there is a possibility you have millions of your fields, but they are not relevant for your use case. So how to identify out of those million fields which are required for modeling? So that step is called feature engineering. So feature engineering is the one step where you try to see what all attributes I should pick up to train my model. Those features are the effective attributes that will define the predictability of the model. So feature engineering is one of also an important step where you define what all attributes should be picked up out of the millions of attributes, and that should be given to your model. When I say model is nothing but how you train your data to behave like how human beings behave. So when you, as a human being, what we do, we learn from experience. And for machine, the experience is nothing but data. The more data that you'll give, more accurate data that you give to model, more accurately output you will get. So this is the predictive modeler is nothing much, is actually giving a technical term to human experience in terms of machine. So feature engineering is done, and then the clean data, the extracted data is fed into models. When I say models, model is nothing but an algorithm. Algorithm could be your regression models, it could be your classification models, whether it could be deep learning or various other advanced analytics models. So all those algorithms are fed with data, and they try to learn from it. And that learning process is called training. So model is trained, it runs through the data multiple times to see the patterns, to see the behavior of the data within those, and try to predict how the data behavior is doing. And that is what we call the model. Once that model is created, and then unknown data is fed into that model, and then it predicts that the unknown data, how it is going to behave in future. And that is what we call machine learning or data science or data analytics. So the model is prepared based on the historical data. Then you give some unknown data to it, and it will start predicting your future behavior. And that is how the whole steps are followed, and then it is deployed in production, and then unknown data is keep on feeding. Then, like I said, that Ashutosh showed you, that the live feed is given. The live feed is unknown thing to it, and within 3, 4, 5 seconds, it predicts that there's something is wrong. So that is how it start predicting on real time. And then based on those outputs, it actually defines the business strategies of what are the decisions that we can take, what are the strategical decisions from the management that can enable the business to grow, or what are the strategies or goals being defined. They can take a more defined or informed decision that will help the business in the future. So this is what, on a very high level, the analytics process is. In terms of technologies, it is not that important that which all technologies we use. We can use various languages like Python or any other language, but the process being followed is similar in all of these. So this process is technology agnostic, but you need to have understanding of technologies to enable your this process end. So that's how this analytics process works. Uh, I'll give you a very small demo on one of the use case which Samiksha was trying to tell earlier, like the classification of the PDFs that they get and how they try to categorize those into various categories. So very quickly, we'll go through that very small thing that I'll show that how we categorize a particular unknown document into categories which can be defined by business at the start, and based on those business defined categories, it will predict any unknown document that it belongs to this category. So for the sake of this demo, I have picked up a open source data set which is called BBC News dataset. And what it does, it's a collection of more than 2000 articles, and each article has been categorized into 5 categories. These categories are business news or entertainment news or tech news or politics news or sports news. So around these 2000 documents are fed into model. That model will get trained by by these documents, where we have already labeled this document. Like each document has been given a label at the training step. The training step is nothing but where you have the documents at one place, and the label is like the highlighted here is the first document is technology related document, the next one is business related, third one is sport related. So we are already labeling it. We are trying to train the model by giving this data. That means we are telling that these kind of documents are called business documents. The second type of document is called sports log document. So we are telling that our experience at the start will become the experience of machine at training stage. So we will feed this label data set to the machine. Machine will start learning by itself, because it will see that this kind of data has been categorized as business. So it will start learning by itself. And when the training model has been trained, it will do the prediction by itself without being telling that this document is business. It will start predicting this is a business document. Ashutosh, can you go to that notebook, please, once? Yeah, thanks. So for the sake of this demo, I'm using a Colab from the Google facility, which is an online facility provided by Google to run any model. So you can use this facility. Anybody who has a Gmail account can use this. You don't need to buy any kind of software. You can run this online without any, you don't need to install anything here. So this particular notebook is in Python, and we have used various libraries like TensorFlow and Pandas to get through working to it. So first step here is the number 4. We are reading that data set that we just showed you, where we have the labeled data set. So we have to break this data set into training and the test data set. Training is what we will give the model to train, and then we will test whether the model on the test data set to see whether the prediction of that model is working properly or not. So just to showcase how the data looks like, it is reading the first 5 records of it. The first record belongs to tech category. The second record belongs to business, and then third and fourth belongs to support, and fifth one is entertainment. This is just the data that we have. Okay, then the next step I told you that there is a data cleansing and data quality things that we have to do. So we are just checking out how many of the values belongs to which category, and whether there are missing values or not. So that all cleansing are happening. We are trying to see whether we have to manipulate data to work out with the missing values or not. That step is happening here. Okay, so yeah. So if you come down to this graph down below, you can see that then we are duplicates are being removed, just in case like there is a problem with the feed that we are getting, and there may be some duplicates. So we have to go through the data set to see whether we have to remove duplicates or not. So if you see this data set in visualization mode, I can see that that the business and the sports categories are more than 400 documents. Then we are feeding around 300 to 350 documents for entertainment and politics, and then around 300 for the technology also. Okay, and now the next step is the features. Like the features, what features that we need to feed into the model. From text analytics perspective, and what we call as the NLP, the natural language processing, so things that we do here are called, we have to extract the features, like how many words are there in that document and how many documents contains a particular word. That term is called term frequency, and number of times that particular term is in all the documents is called document frequency. And we call this as a TF-IDF, which is called term frequency inversely document frequency that we calculate, and that is defined within the NLP area. We are using NLTK library here, which is used here. So we are actually tokenizing each document. Tokenizing means we are actually breaking the document into each words. And then we are trying to see that how many times a particular words exist in a particular document. So that tokenization and putting that in a vector form so that we can see that that the word called sports exists in document 1 and 5, and we have classified the 1 and 5 as sports category. So based on that, like how many times a particular terms exist in particular document, and that document is defined as a sports, that is the training behavior that is being used to train the model. Okay, and this is how we are passing on 2000 documents to this model, and it is trying to find out 1 gram, 2 grams, and 3 grams, which is nothing but the combination of words, like how many times two words combined together exist in a document, how many 3 words combined exist in a particular document. So the types of behavior, the types of patterns, the types of features that we are generating to make the model run and train, we are creating those features. So these features, where you can see that 5-6 words normally used together, these are called most correlated features to be given to a particular model. So we are trying to find out the patterns here. The patterns are nothing but the combination of the words or features here. Okay, can you move a little bit more, Ashutosh? Ashutosh, can you come down a bit? Okay, I think there's a gap in feed. So, but this is how we create the features, and then we move this data set to the model. And for the sake of demo, we have passed on multiple, we have run through it multiple models. One is called the random forest. Next one is called logistical regression. And the third one that we have used is called naive Bayes. These are all the classification models, and this classification in the sense that we have given a data, it will classify that data into particular categories. The categories here are the sports category, business category, or technology categories. So these models are run through data, and then we run multiple iterations using cross validation techniques to find out which model has performed well. And we ran through it 3 models, and we found that the logistic regression performed well with the accuracy of 95%. And then that is what we finalize our model, and that is what we deployed. So, and when we given the test data set to that model, we got accuracy of 95%. And how do we calculate the accuracy? Is normally for the classification examples is the confusion matrix, where we see that how many there are false positive, how many there are true positive, and how many there are false negative and true negative. These are the terms which actually defines that you are expecting it to be true, but you have got the false. So that means there is a false, there's a false negative. And then you see that you are expecting that to be negative and you are finding it as true. That's called false true, negative true. So these are the terms that you find out, and based on that, you've defined the accuracy of your models. Each model is given that accuracy value, and you define, you run that models multiple times to see whether it has improved or not. And based on your requirement, you can finalize one of them. So I think we are not able to show that on the screen, but we would have seen that if we are passing through an example, which we'll pass and document to a model, it will tell you that it's a technology, which is what we were supposed to get it. So based on these examples, you can actually feel like how the process of data science or data analytics go through for any use case, whether it's the computer vision, whether it's a text analytics, or whether it's a classification or any regression model. So this is how it goes. I think that covers with the time limits that I have. I think this is what it covers. So I'm happy to have any questions on top of it.
Yeah, thank you, Kulbhushan. It was wonderful, which have enlightened us with the certain kind of a real practical exposure of the data analytics and how it is going to be used. in the industries, of course. So they might be having certain first year questions. So one of the question has been asked by the first year student that when should we start learning more about the business analytics or data visualization, because as the first year this is very new to him. So at what year they are going to address the tools or the certification programs, or you can say the data science or data analytics knowledge, when they are going to take this?
Yeah. So as I said that this whole process is technology agnostic, but technology is required here. You need to learn one language for sure, whether it's your Python or whether it's R. You need to start from there. You need to get hold of one technology first and then start using that technology towards your analytics journey. So for any first year student or second year students, I would say that you start learning any of these language first, and then from then onwards you start learning the visualization techniques. Even these languages have their own libraries for the visualization, which you will learn as part of your this process. So first year, second year, I would say that get hold of that language first, and then go to the advanced areas of analytics post that.
Yes, yes, of course, that would be very right, Kulbhushan, that you have to hold with any of the languages, either the Python or some other languages, so that it will give you more, you can say, knowledge about the language, and then you can use any other tool in this particular application.
Exactly. And along with that, start learning one of the visualization tool as well, like Tableau is there, Power BI is there. Start learning those also, along with learning with the language. That will make your base to learn this advanced concept in a stronger way. If you have a control of these tools, I think the steps towards the analytics will be very easy after that.
Yeah, yeah, right, absolutely. Apart from this, I think one of the question has been asked. Uh, one Karthik Garg has asked that do we required a certain kind of big computers, or we call it as a supercomputers, for the computer vision that Ashutosh showed, or a millions of the data analytics is going to be done. So whether we required a heavy machine for that?
Answer to that is yes. For the use cases like the computer vision and something, I think you need heavy machines. And I won't say like you need a supercomputer, but nowadays we have the GPUs that instead of CPUs, we use GPUs, which are costly and heavy processing devices. So we can use that, and they are provided by say certain vendors, as Ashutosh was telling, that we are using the cloud, and we can render those as demand. You don't need to buy as such, but whenever you need it, you render it, and then you can use and pay as you go. You need heavy machines, yes, but that all depends on what use case you need. But for your learning, I think you can learn all these on your local CPUs as well.
Okay. So yes, anybody else who want to have any questions, they can write it on the chat box. Yes, Ashutosh have asked that, Ashutosh Gupta is there, who has asked that which is more important, model accuracy or the model performance?
Okay, so it depends upon the use case. I'll give you an example here. Suppose you are uh, identifying whether a particular patient has a cancer or not. What is more important here is accuracy, because if a model predicts a particular person is having a cancer, which is not the case in reality, that means you'll start giving him the diagnosis based on your prediction, which is not good for that patient. So based on that use case, you decide whether you have to go with the model accuracy or the model performance. Model performance is something that whether your model is running within 2 hours or real time or not. But if it is not giving you the accuracy for based on your requirement, it's of no use. So for healthcare use cases, I would say accuracy plays a lot here. But for the real time where you were watching out for having a helmet or not, I would say the performance will be more important here. So it all depends upon the use case that you're working on. Both are important. If you can achieve both, well and good. But it depends upon the use case where it makes more importance for one of the other.
Okay. So yes, last question will take Gulbhushan. This is from the Anshika, that what should be our business mission in data science?
What is our business mission?
Business mission in data science, like means that data science, what can be the business will we should have from the data science, or what can be the particular organization can have this
Okay.
business mission?
Yeah. So see, every business has its goal. Whether it's a manufacturing industry, that every manufacturing industry wants to be the business, to be leader in its own area. Every school wants a leader in the education area. So every business has their own mission. What data science can help here is how that data science technologies or the steps can help that any business to achieve that goal in best possible way. So data science enables business to achieve their goals in more defined or more defined process in a better way, which can give edge over the competitors. So that's where the data science can help businesses, and the mission of data science is to help business to achieve their goals.
Okay, okay. So yes, Kulbhushan, it was wonderful demo you have given us. You have enlightened us with the practical exposure. Yes, of course, the students must have learned a lot from these sessions, and I hope you have also enjoyed it a lot by Kulbhushan, Ashutosh sir, and Samiksha sir, Samiksha ma'am. So I think this is what we have today, and I hope Kulbhushan, Ashutosh, and Samiksha, in future also we are having a certain kind of a relationship where we are going to give more enlightenment, more knowledge, information about the data science in the from the business and the industry perspectives. So I would like to thank you everyone, each and every speaker, each and every audience, to have this very wonderful informative session. So thank you everyone. Thank you very much. That's all for today. We'll have certain other sessions on the same topic by some other expertise, or by the same expertise, Ashutosh sir, Kulbhushan, if they have, and Samiksha ma'am, if they have time, they will give us the appointment, and according to that, we are going to schedule the sessions. So thank you everyone. Thank you very much.